What up, guys? How's everybody doing tonight? So, tonight I'm just going to talk a little bit about starting a pressure washing business. And if you have questions, this is a good night to ask because I plan on answering a lot of questions. So, that is the plan stand. So, this past weekend was Christmas. It was on Friday. We had a good Christmas. We had Christmas at my mom's on Thursday for Christmas Eve. Then we went to my in-laws for for Christmas. We had Santa here for the kids. They didn't get a lot of presents from us this year because we told them that we wasn't giving them no presents. They wasn't good this year. No, not wasn't it. We decided to do an experience versus gifts because they get enough gifts from their other family, and so that's what we did. So we're headed to Disney here shortly, and that was their Christmas present for the family. They got very few presents from Santa, so that is what we did. I did get a drone. I've been showing some video of it. I've been having some fun flying the drone. I think it will be awesome for video, for my videos. The more I learn how to do it, the better it'll look. And that way, when I am shooting footage for my videos, it will be pretty cool and amazing, right? So that is my goal, is so that way I can help get better video and make it more interesting so people want to watch and all of that kind of thing. So, can I start? So, I did have one other thing I wanted to hit on before I get started too much on this about starting a pressure washing business. I want to talk a little bit about the business side of owning a pressure washing business. What do we need to do when times get slow? What do we need to do of if we don't know when times are going to be slow? We don't know the cycle of a pressure washing business. You know, a lot of times people don't realize, and I say it here and I'm going to say it again. You know, sometimes we get into wintertime. Obviously, wintertime is different to other people. You know, if you're in the South, it doesn't really hurt you as much. You up in here in the North, folks, your business is going to shut down pretty much all the way. And so this is something that we need to make sure that we are setting money aside when we are making money. So that way, when we come into slow times, we got a little nest egg. So when I first started, my wife worked at Toyota at the main headquarters here in Northern Kentucky when it was here, and my wife, um, my wife was one that she was making good money at the time. So when we started to make it where she was going to quit her job because they went to Michigan when her job was going to Michigan, some of the jobs were going to some of the jobs were going down to Plano, Texas, and the other one was going up into Michigan. And so we didn't want to go to Michigan because it's cold up there, and I didn't want to go to Michigan. And so what I would do is I would save up money for the wintertime so that I could live on my fire department check and make it through. And so this is some things that I would do so that way we could get through that. And so that is what I did. So, um, so this is how I was able to get through that kind of stuff. Jason, the book Extreme Ownership is amazing. Thank you for the giveaway. It is a very good book. So these are some things that we got to look for. And I always try to keep a little cash fund so that way, you know, a lot of times when I get paid cash, you know, you can claim it, you can do whatever you want to do with it. Even if you do claim it, I would put it in a safe so that way I could make sure that I could get up and get going. So that way, if the slow time gets here, because there's going to be slow times, you know, for us North folks, it's all winter long. You ain't gonna get nothing up here in the wintertime. Now, in the summertime, there's you know, April, your season will start when people start mowing grass. So that is when to start. That could be February, that could be May, that and anywhere in between. And it could be anywhere in between no matter where you live at. You know, I've had springs where gets real warm, it gets enough rain, don't rain too much where we can get some sunlight on that grass, and it'll start growing in February and early March. And then we can start keep going. And so that is a good thing. Then I've had months where, or springs that it rained and froze in April and, all that kind of stuff. And we didn't get started till late April, early May, And so these are some things that we got to do so that we can get started. Obviously, our big pressure washing season is the really good time is that spring. And that's why this is, if we're thinking about starting a pressure washing business, this right now is a good time to start it. And you might say, why the hell would I start a pressure washing business in the wintertime? Well, there's a lot of things we can do right now that will get us ready to go in the springtime. And so a lot of people, they'll be like, well, I'm going to start in the spring and that's going to be good. I'll just start in the spring and that will be good. And I'm not just talking about you, Kyle. I'm talking about a lot of people. You brought it up on my mind, and my wife's like, you need to tell people that there is slow times, fast times, all of that kind of stuff. So, so that's going to be our busy season is through, depending on when we can start, March through June is going to be busy. June is going to start tapering down a little bit. It's going to start slowing down a little bit. July and August can really throw the brakes on because people are spending money on vacation. They are, they're buying school clothes and all of that. August can be really slow. Now, some things that we can do to make sure that it's not slow, a lot of times that's where I would throw all my commercial work. I would push my commercial work to August. So that way I knew that my guys would keep busy. And so that is definitely something that would do. Start now. Spring creeps up way too quick and that. And so definitely, hell, it's about to be slow few weeks for me. I'm under freaking quarantine. Wife has COVID, luckily not bad, and hope it stays that way. That sucks. So, reason why we want to start now, reason what things that we can do to start now is go ahead and figure out what we're going to do for marketing. I preach the Google My Business stuff, and the reason why I preach the Google My Business stuff is because it works. It will make your phone ring. It will make your phone ring. Guarantee it. A lot of guys I know get their Google My Business and their phone will blow up. I think that, there's a couple things that you can do in SEO world, search engine optimization. And Google My Business is probably going to be one of the best things for local businesses. And as Pressure Washer, we are a local business, and it is probably one of the best things we can do is to make sure we got all our citations, make sure that, and what a citation is a citation is anywhere on the internets, that you have your name, address, phone number, and website is on there. So, for instance, if you have a Facebook page and you have and it's also called a NAP. So a citation can also be called a NAP, name, address, phone number. So, with that said, we have to make sure that NAP is exactly the same all across it has to be the exact same. We can't put a comma here and not put a comma over there. It has to be that good. It has to be really, 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 really good. So the next thing I would do is, once we get that figured out, and how you want to do it is we're going to go to our Google My Business. Once we fill out all the information we have to fill out, we're going to send it in. They're going to send it back. Then we're going to get on the maps and we're going to find that location. And that information that is on that location is what we're going to put everywhere else. And we're going to keep it the exact same. If we use if we use street instead of, we're not going to go out there and put half street, STREET, and STR. We're not going to do that. We want to make sure that they're all the same. Every one of them is the same. So that is very, very important. So once we get that, that's called the citation. That's called a NAP. We're going to put that in about every anything, any directories, Facebook, YouTube, anywhere that's out there that the internet is going to find it. And a lot of them are going to be directories, maps, all that kind of stuff. So once we get that all up and running, the next thing we got to do is we got to get our pictures up, and I know I've been preaching this a lot, but this is something that we can do right now. We can do that now because this will get us going. So when we get ready for spring, you're going to be way ahead of these people. Going to be like, I'm going to start in the spring. That's when I really want to start my business. No, you need to start now, because when spring comes, if you don't start now and start pushing stuff and getting your brand, and I don't want you spending a bunch of money on branding and all this other crap, because that's not going to get you start business in the very beginning. And so if you want to start in the spring, and this is even if you're a seasoned person, make sure this stuff is done. I know I preach this stuff blue and on face, but there's a reason why I'm doing it, because this will get you business. This will make your little phone ring, and that is our goal. The more we can get that phone to ring, the better off we are at the end of the day. So the next thing we need to do once we get that done, we got to get our pictures. We need 100 pictures. It isn't because this is what Jason says. There was a big study out by brightlocal.com. You can go look it up, and it will tell you that you need 100 pictures. And there's a reason why you need 100 pictures, because it makes your phone ring. So, some other things we can do. Well, Jason, I don't have no pictures. Well, I'll get rid of that excuse real fast. Right here, pressurewashhelp.com/free. I have about 300 or 400 pictures downloaded on a file, so you can pull that. And I'm going to probably kind of keep getting more in there, so that way it doesn't get too diluted down. So that way everybody don't steal the same pictures, and that can hurt things too. But it's pictures. Once you get started, remember Jason talks about doing a walk around to get pictures. And what are we going to do with those pictures? Dump them in here. This is the best place to dump our pictures, is in Google My Business. The more we can dump in there, the better off we are. And we're not just going to dump them with no name and 1234.jpg. We're going to rename those pictures. Pressure washing Cincinnati, Florence house washing, Florence vinyl siding cleaning, Florence exterior cleaning Florence, pressure washing Florence. You might say, how am I going to come up with 100 names? Well, I just gave you 30 of them right there. So this is something that you have to do. And this is a good question for you, Nathan. So what you want to do is, you don't want to be putting Cynthiana house washing, because your business probably ain't going to get a lot in Cynthiana. You're going to want to name these photos Lexington house washing, Lexington pressure washing, whatever the Lexington address or zip code is, house washing. And so that's what you're going to want to do, Nathan. You don't want to be putting, Cynthiana, because that's not going to help you out. That's not your target market. Most people in Cynthiana may not have a full set of teeth. So that's not our customer. Now, there's some customers that might be in Cynthiana, but very few. You want to shoot for Georgetown, Paris, Lexington. That's where you're going to really want to push, because there is money out there. There is even Cynthiana, there's Paris, there's huge horse farms. And what's got huge horse farms? Huge pockets. So, that is something that you definitely want to look at and do. So that's just for you, Nathan, of what I just gave you there. So once we get all that done, facts, they don't have teeth. I wasn't saying that on purpose, because I just know people from Cynthiana. So the next thing we need to do is, so that we are ready, we can start doing Google My Business posts. Start posting once a week, twice a week on Google My Business post. This way, when spring comes, the phone should start ringing. If we don't do any of this stuff and we wait till spring, your phone's not going to ring. I'm going to just go ahead and tell you, your phone's not going to ring. These are things that we need to do now, so that way we're ready to go and we're ready to hammer down when spring comes. And that is the goal, is so that way when we are on the gas pedal, we stay on the gas pedal and we don't let off the gas pedal. You definitely want to make sure that this is things that you want to do to keep that phone ringing. And that, glad you are picking on Kentucky and not my honey hole up here. Your honey hole up there has lots of money, because you can go on the other side of the loop. I'm not exactly sure where you're at, but you can go on the other side of the loop, and that's where all the rich people live. You know, Indian Hill, obviously, that's at one time was like the 9th richest in the nation. And then you get up into Loveland, you can get up into Westchester, all of those areas. That's where the money's at. So that is definitely something, is where the money's at. You're dirty minded. I'm just trying to keep down on the dental plan. How do I keep my privacy on Google My Business and Google Maps? I don't want to show my exact address, house. So the one thing that you can do is you can, once you get the address up, you will have to show it for a little bit. But once you get once you get your address up and everything, um, and you start, your citations will have your address out there on the internet. But what you can do is hide it off the Google Maps side of things. There's a little box that says basically hide my address, or it says something that I don't service. I don't have a shop or something. I don't remember the exact how it's worded, but there is a way to keep your address off there. The thing that I did find out, is I found out my way, is you really need it on your citation. So if you don't have it on your citation, that is definitely something that you need to do. Located in Westchester, so all the money is surrounding me. Yes, it is. There, Monroe. You know, you can go into Dayton. You can go on the east. You know, there's lots of money up there where you are. Are you giving all the secrets to my competitors? No, because we don't worry about our competitors. What happens when we worry about our competitors? We don't worry about our own business. And that is what happens when we don't worry about our competitors. Hello from Chicago. Are you snowed in yet? Zach, there is an option you can check that says something along the lines, my business doesn't have a physical address. Yes, it's something like that. And that will hide your address. Is there any way to name the pictures on GMB, or is it in the post only? No, you can name these. This is where you got to name the pictures on your computer. So you're going to go on your computer, you're going to look at the picture, you're going to rename that file to pressure washing Lexington, house washing Lexington, that kind of stuff. And then when we upload that picture onto Google, that is how we got to do it. Soap. What should I clean semi trucks with? Soap. It depends on which way you want to go. I know Russ from Southeast sells something like Panel Bright or something like that, that is like a one-step cleaning. But a lot of the guys that do a lot of semi cleanings do it in a two-step method. If you go back a couple weeks ago when I had Michael Hinderliner on, he talks about it at the end about how to clean trucks, because I've never done it before. That's not something that I have done. You know, the toothbrush had to be invented there because everybody else has been called the toothbrush. Mr. Donovan. Donovan got him a new shop. We will be having a class in Raleigh. I'm trying to figure out the best dates. And it will be about you can go check out this link up here. Eventually, I'm going to try to get it on there tomorrow. If it's not on there tomorrow, it'll be 2 weeks from now, but it'll probably be the first week of March if Donovan is okay with that. So I'm going to move there tomorrow, start up Cincinnati Soft Thermal LLC. You won't start. It'd be a little cold for you, Kyle, up here. It's a little cold, and it's even colder here with Dan. And Dan has been putting videos out, and if you all would go subscribe to Dan, he's been putting out some videos and trying to get some going. And he talks about breeding fish. Did you know you can breed fish? Yep, that's right. He breeds fish. That is his wintertime gig, is breeding fish. Actually, he don't sell them in the wintertime because they would freeze in the back of the UPS truck, is what he says, or something like that. So, I don't know. You always have to mind your own business. That's why people tell you to mind your own business. Mind your own business and stay in your lane. Located in Long Island, New York. That's a little cold up there right now, probably. I know they got some snow. We're at in Long Island. Not that I know. I just know where I went to do that Christmas lights at. As my wife likes to say, watch your bobbled. How about website building help? So, website building help. I talked a little bit about it in my course. I'm going to put more into it. The problem about putting stuff like this in a course is the crap changes. And so that's why I started to put some website stuff in there, but it does change. And so there's I got some in there, but I'm like to put more, and I want to put more as in other ways of doing a website or other cheap ways to do a website. So there's a couple things you can do. Obviously, you can use Wix. It's a pretty easy setup to do. Wix is really easy. Whenever we're building a website, we need some words on it, but make sure that we have large call to actions. That is very important. Name, phone number, how to get that kind of stuff. So name, all of that kind of thing. Name, and make sure that your website has a clickable number. If it doesn't have a clickable number, that is bad. If you have money, you can pay to get it built. Just because you have a big, nice built website does not mean that the phone is just going to start ringing. That does not mean that the phone is going to start ringing. A website has to have work. It has to have other things. If you have your Google My Business tied to your website, now that will help you get your phone to ring. If you don't have any money to start and try to build your own website, you can go to Google My Business. And when you go to Google My Business, it'll say website. And I've seen people, and you can build that website out. It's very simple. It has some pictures. It's very easy to do. It's not hard to do at all. And there you can build enough website. You can buy the domain there. You can buy everything there. So then that way you can have a website up with at least some stuff and information. You can also name the photos if you have the GMB app and uploading from your phone. Do you take every light bulb out of the socket when taking down for the season? And that is no. Every light bulb stays in. Okay, so I need to name them before I post them. That is correct. I'm in South Florida. My wife would 110% not move there. Too much white frozen stuff. There's not much frozen stuff. Well, white frozen stuff here in Cincinnati. It's just more frozen stuff. We get a lot of ice and crap. I met some local competition, thankful for Jason, so I'm not him. In our conversation, he told me bleach kills everything. Don't use it. Use high pressure. Word of mouth advertising. No ad spend. Well, that's an easy one to sell against that one. We don't damage your property. We don't use high pressure. The manufacturer says not to use high pressure. It's real easy to beat that one. We haven't had any snow yet, thank God. Quick question. Is it better to have a DBA for Christmas lights business rather than additional service in my pressure washing business? I'll be signing up for your Raleigh Christmas light class. Um, I would say you could do it as on your website as a link, or you can do it as a DBA. And I I like doing it as a DBA because I can kind of say I am a Christmas light installer versus I'm a pressure washer hanging Christmas lights. Does that make sense? I know it's kind of, that would be like me having a Christmas light website that says I do Christmas lights. Holy crap, dude. Um, um, is like having a Christmas light thing. So I just want you all to, Dan got me all messed up here. So that's just something that, does that make sense? It's just one of those things that I think it helps for a website, everything like that. Love for you and the team to do a class close to Oklahoma. I might be able to make something happen. I don't know if it'll be this year. That's the only issue. Um, we'll see. Extreme, we need to set one up. I breed rabbits here faster. I breed. That's expensive. Breeding humans is very, very, very expensive. I'm not. That's not something cheap, and it don't make much money off of them either. No, I don't need to be. I don't want to be funny. I need to make 100,000 next year to support my growing Scotch habit. Well, I tell you what you do to make $100,000. This is what you got to do to make $100,000 because I already got the numbers here for you guys. So $100,000. This is what you have to do. $100,000 a year. You need to work 9 months out of the year. You need to bring in $11,000 a month, and you will be at $100,000. If we break that down per week, you need to make $2,750 per week. So if we work 5 days a week, we need to make $550 as $550 a day. So if we make $550 a day for 9 months out of the year, and that's not counting Saturday and Sunday, guess what? You made $100,000. So if you can get an average job of just $250 a day, or 250 times that by 2, you're at $100,000. It literally is that simple. Now, what do we got to do to be able to get that $250 job? What do we got to do to get those two jobs a day? Work on your Google My Business, do Facebook, do yard signs, do all that kind of stuff. I never had luck with that. Um, I mean, you could try it, see. I mean, you always try something. Is there a way? Is that where you are wanting to go? You are my mentor. You give simple information. I really need to contact you. I try to break it down to the easy. I try to break it down so that you understand it. That is my goal. I don't get all I mean, sometimes I know I'd get a little, down the line of over people's head. That's why when I was talking about Google My Business just a few minutes ago, I broke down what is a citation, what is an app, because I could have just said, you just need a citation and an app, and you'd have been like, what is a citation? What is an app? So I like breaking it down to make sure that everybody can understand it and it is easy to understand. Maybe one day, not anytime soon. Best way from keeping your equipment from freezing. So, two things is to put antifreeze in it. You can do RV antifreeze. Make sure that when you put it in the buffer tank, You run the system and it gets cycled all the way through all your hoses, your soft wash system, all of that kind of stuff. You can use RV antifreeze. You can use regular antifreeze. What I do is use straight antifreeze and put just 25. I'll do 25/75, especially if I was going to use it during the year. So then that way, if I go to a job, I can pour that antifreeze into a bucket and then keep that bucket. And then when I come back, I can dump that bucket back into my pressure washing buffer tank, and then I can run it again. And then it's going to get weaker as it goes. But then that way I can stay at least 50%, which 50% is about negative 20 or negative 30. So then that's a way that you can do it with regular antifreeze. Now, regular antifreeze kills things, animals, stuff like that. So that's why a lot of people don't like using regular antifreeze. So that can be that. The other way to do it is to make sure that you have an air compressor and you blow everything out, and you make sure that everything is blown out. So that way because if all it takes is just a drop of water in that brass pump and it's cracked. If we are all new youngsters, make sure they don't steal your domain name before you pay for it, which is cheap. Yeah, you can buy a domain name for $9-10. Go to namecheap.com, namecheap.com. You can buy the domain there, and then you can port it to wherever you need to go. And if you need to know how to port it and all that kind of thing, there's this thing called YouTube, and you just put in Namecheap to wherever you're porting it to, and it will tell you how to go with it. I just have the GMB free website. I got it looking pretty good, tons of reviews, and before and after pictures and all the other information. Looking forward to my Google Ads one-time setup, Jason and Jody. I will be working on those some tomorrow. If I don't get them done tomorrow, which I probably won't, it'll be the middle of January. So I was trying to get them done this weekend, and I decided to go fly my drone. So no, I don't like working on the weekends on that kind of stuff. I usually try to do it on Monday through Friday, so that way I can have time with my family, just like I want you to have time with your family. Jason, what's the best way to take credit card payments? All I have is PayPal and Vimeo. Vimeo is kind of newer. Vimeo is the way. PayPal, here's the thing I don't like about PayPal. And if you haven't had it done yet, it will be coming. PayPal will do this thing of, oh, you got $2,000 coming. Oh, we can't send it to you for 30 days because we want to make sure that it is not fraudulent. And they'll do it to you all the freaking time. And so I quit using PayPal. I only use, Jason, tell these guys how much money you will be helping me make this year. Hint, it starts with, oh. Let's get back to this real quick. So I would usually I use Stripe or something like that. If you have a CRM, a lot of times you can do PayPal or Stripe. I would recommend Stripe just because it is something that I would rather do it that way. So Donovan's goal for 2021, I believe, is 1.5 million. 1.5 million. I believe that is his number. And he did over $1 million pretty much with 3 guys, and one of those guys being him. Now, he does have I believe it's his wife answering the phone and a lady in the office to help make sure the billing and everything. But with 3 guys, they did over $1 million this year. And that is amazing. And Donovan is one that he didn't even know he was going to do over $1 million this year. He did over 250,000 just in Christmas lights alone. And this is basically his 2nd year full time doing Christmas lights. He did Christmas lights 3 years, but the first year was I think he only did like 18,000 the first year. So this is his 2nd year doing Christmas lights, and it has done over $250,000 just in Christmas lights alone. Yeah, use Square or Stripe. Either one of those two work. Best way from keeping your equipment. I already answered that. Dan, thank you very much. Hope you and your girls are doing great and having a happy holidays. We are very much so, and I hope you and your girls get home. I don't know if they've got, I haven't seen her get home yet. He just had a baby, was a month early, and they've been in the hospital for about a month, I think. So they were hoping to have a Christmas present of getting it home, and it is not home. So we pray to get it home. I will be there to check out the new shop. Before then, hopefully Donovan, Jason, maybe we can do a ride along around that time. I'm planning to come to Raleigh in January to meet up with Donovan. So either maybe if you have anything then, if not, maybe the week after that training, I can do something. What do you think of using Square as payment methods, pros and cons? I think it is very good. It is way better than PayPal. So that is definitely something. There's no such thing as competition. There's plenty of work for everyone. Legit, other companies help set the bar for pricing and quality. All the competition around me is really nice and helpful. My biggest competitor is the same way. He even tells customers, I cheat people because I don't use high pressure. P.S. I still land the jobs. It's a lot easier to beat somebody with them using pressure because you can say, do you take a shower? This is the best thing. This is like classic. So you're saying, is he saying pressure works better? Yes, pressure works better. So are you saying when you take a shower, you don't use soap? You just use pressure and that gets you, why do you use soap for? Why do I use soap? Because I get cleaner. Pressure doesn't do me no good at that point. Now is the time to start removing the Christmas lights if they are ready, not in the contract. Okay, Dan with big super chat. I use Square, Stripe, and Vimeo. Yeah, I don't like that other one. You don't win the battle every time, but you win the war. Is there going to be a wash-a-thon? No, there is not. There is going to be training with me and Bobby at pressurewashhelp.com/dates. And so you'll get everything that I teach and you get everything that Bobby's teaching on that one. And then in March, you can come to Raleigh and there you get everything that I've done to get to $1 million business. And guess who else got to $1 million business? Mr. Donovan. There's not too many people in this industry that is teaching pressure washing that has gotten to $1 million. In fact, I'm going to go with this many people have gotten to $1 million that teach classes. Zero. Bobby hasn't gotten to $1 million. He's only gotten to 650, 700. A lot of other people haven't gotten there either. Now, does that mean something to others? No. No, it doesn't. But it does mean something as in, if I can get you, this is what I've always teach. If I can only get you to where I've been. So, some of these other guys that are teaching how to do this stuff and I made $100,000 and I'm going to teach it, that's all they're going to be able to get you to. To get you to that next level, you've had to be there. You've got to do it. You've had to done it. And so when I say what I do to get to $1 million, that's what I've done. I've done more than 250. I've done more than 500. I've done more than 750. I did over $1 million 2 years in 2 years. It wasn't back to back, but I got to the business over $1 million 2 years. And so that is what I can do. Now, do I know how to get people started? Absolutely. Have I gotten a lot of people over 100,000 their first year? Yep, I have. And so this is what I've done. This is how I help people. I didn't mean to go off on a tangent on Lee there, but sorry. But yes, so, again, Donovan, we will be doing something in March, and we'll probably have something later on in the year, even maybe. Lee, I need to get me for real. Hey, Greg, hope you and the family are doing well. Yep, that is a good hope. How's your dad doing, Ray or Greg? You can look me up. It's Christmas. We get by giving, and I agree with this 100%. We give a lot of. We give a lot. My wife loves to give stuff away, and I've been giving stuff away too. And I really do believe that you do get by giving, even when it's hard. Sometimes we've always given. We've always given to the church. We've always done what we're supposed to do there, and it is something that we've just done. And so now we give to other people. I got friends that are trying to go be in the missionary field. You know, that's giving. Give to different organizations. My wife gives to everything. So that is how she does most of the giving. Jason does not. 350 times 3 times 5. Easy. How much money someone can make the first year? You can make, if you push a little bit and you start out and you do what I tell you to do and make sure your Google My Business is ready to go in the spring and ready to hammer down, you can do anywhere from 50 to 150. And it just depends on how much you want to push. How much are you willing to go out there and go get it? How much drive do you have? How much, what do you want to do to go out there? Are you afraid of hearing no? Are you able to overcome the no question, the no answer? No. Are you willing to follow up? Are you willing to go that extra step to make sure that your business will be successful? Because at the end of the day, nobody cares about your business. Nobody. The only person can make a business successful is you. And at the end of the day, you got to go get it. If I can only help you, I can only coach you, I can only mentor you so far. At the end of the day, you have to do it. It doesn't matter what stage you are in. It doesn't matter how long you've been in business. It doesn't matter any of that stuff. The only person that can stop you from getting there is you. And this is where I talk a lot about having a positive mindset, because if you have a negative mindset, it's going to be really hard for you to make money, because every negative thought in your head can be the worst thing for you. The other thing that can be hard for you is if you have negative people in your ears. And the worst people of this is family and friends. And sometimes you got to break those friendships so that way you get rid of that negativity, because that negativity will put you in the negative and do on it. So a great book to read is Extreme Ownership, because at the end of the day, you are in charge. And it doesn't matter if you are working for somebody or if you're trying to own your own business. You know, if your guy screws up something, it's your fault. It's not their fault. And if you blame it on them, it's your fault. Well, Jason, he's the one did it. Well, did you put a training system in place? Did you make sure that he knew how to do it properly? Did you do a checkup sheet so that he got it done properly? That is why it's your fault. You can blame other people. That's not going to get you a business that you can grow and be successful. Because when we blame everybody else, that does no good. You have to take ownership. Go read Extreme Ownership or listen to it. If you go to audible.com, or if you go to Amazon, if you can go to pressurewashhelp.com/store, go down to books, and there you will find in the books about it. And there's extreme, and you can get one book for your first book free. You just got to cancel that membership. It's like $15, and you get a book every month. But that is a great book to start with if you're having problems wondering about that. That you are what makes you successful. I can help you. I can give you tips and tricks and guidance and all of that kind of stuff. But you are the reason that you will be successful. Nobody else. Nobody else. You know, I can help you. I can give you ideas. I can show you things that I know that's worked. But at the end of the day, you got to take the plan of action. You know, I'm just, it's the, and a lot of times, this is what it comes down to, our mindset. If you have grown up or you haven't been around money, you don't know how money works, you don't know how people mind thinks about money, and you have a poor mentality. I have a poor mentality. I've had it. I tried to break it. It's hard to get over a poor mentality. I just do things that, I would never spend that on that. You're right. You are not your customer because you have a poor mindset. Poor mindsets doesn't get our average ticket up. Poor mindset keeps our average ticket at $200 versus four, five, $1,000. I had the guy on here the other day. His average ticket is $1,000 to $1,100. That's not a poor mindset. You know why? He grew up in the rich neighborhoods. Wes grew up where he's 15 miles around where he lives at. So he grew up with a rich mindset. When we have poor mindsets, that is what will take us. I will never pay that. You're right. You will never pay that. I can't charge that much. I feel bad. You're right. You might feel bad, but they're willing to pay it. You got to go with it. That's what it comes down to. And this can be really hard. The biggest thing that I see when people are not successful is they couldn't charge enough. They couldn't get their average ticket up because they were afraid that they wouldn't. I would never pay that. I can't charge that. I feel bad. I can't sleep at night. You know what? And I understand that because when we grew up poor. And the other thing we grew up in church. And you always heard that money is evil. Well, let me tell you something here. Money is not evil. The Bible says, for the love of money is evil. These bricks right here, they can do two things. They can be a great thing or they can be a bad thing. Same way with money. These bricks can build buildings and do all kinds of great things. These bricks can also individually break out windows and kill people. So money can do the same thing. So the love of money is what's bad. But when you just hear money is bad because that's what you grew up with, it's hard to get out of that mindset. It's hard to think that people have money and are willing to give it to you for your service. And yes, you're going to have people say, you were only here for 30 minutes. You make more than a doctor. Well, yes, ma'am, that is true. But a doctor works 12 months out of the year. I only work 8 months out of the year because it gets wintertime and I can't do that in the wintertime. And so that is what we got to get out of that mindset. And that is how we can grow a pressure washing business to be successful and do great things. Money, I can do great things with money. I can give it away. I can go build buildings. I can go build different things. I can buy houses that people live in. I can give jobs away so other people have jobs. I can do a lot of things with it. I can invest in it so that way my retirement, when I go to retire, I don't have to worry about living on the government that's going so far in debt that I can't retire until I'm 70 anyway, and I'll be lucky to make it to 70. My dad died at 62. I hope I make it to 70, but there's one thing in life that is a guarantee, and it is the only advice that is a guarantee. That one day you will die. Other than that, you are the only thing holding you back. Nobody else is, nothing else is. What's the best solution? Sorry, I got on my little rant. What's the best solution for washing painted homes? Do a test spot. Use a light house wash mix. When you're doing a test spot, you're making sure that it isn't Sherwin-Williams paint and turning pink, or the pigment is turning bad colors on you. So that's why you want to do test spots with it. I'm rolling out a new startup this spring, 3,000 a week goals. That's a good goal to have, dude. Great goal to have. 3,000 and work it for 9 months. That's your little over $100,000. What's a good website builder? So I like building my website on, let me get off of this. I like building my website on WordPress, but it's not always the easiest. It's pretty easy. The other thing that you can do is Wix is pretty. It's really easy. Is Wix, Wix. I can't even pay attention to my competition because there's new names out there on Facebook I've heard in my area. I know I love when the spring and January or spring, June, May, June, July, and when you see on Facebook, um, who does pressure washing, and there'll be 75 names come boom, 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 boom. It's fun. Thanks, Donovan. Will do. Reach out. Best advice for a teenager with 700 pounds. I'm assuming, I don't know what the, go out there and get it. Go out there and get business. Rent a pressure washer if you have to. All of that kind of stuff. I made 21 grand in my first 4 months. That's good. Keep it up. Don't worry about the competition, do you? What are your thoughts about direct mail advertising? The thing that is the important key of this is you have to do it over and over and over and over. We can't send out 30,000 door hangers and just assume that things are just going to come in, because they are not. They definitely are not. So if you're going to send out 30,000 door hangers, what we want to do is find an area, and we're going to send them 10,000 3 times. 10,000 3 times. So we're going to do it every 4 weeks. We're going to have, and that is how people are successful with door hangers. Or I'm not sorry, not door hangers, mailers. You know, if we just try to set them and go one time, it's not going to probably work at the end of the day. I've spent about $50,000 in door, and I probably broke even. My goal is to give next year. That's a good goal. It's not cheap, but I've checked out. Send Jim. And yes, antifreeze is highly toxic. It kills cats. Jason, could you please tell us more about the resource page, that what we'll learn from that short version? The resource page. I haven't put nothing on there. If it's the one inside the membership, I haven't put nothing on there yet. Take action to make 100,000. Jason, tell the guys how much money. Yeah, it starts with 2. Follow. So it's 2 million, not 1.5. I'm sorry. And yes, you can do $2 million in pressure washing and Christmas lights. For us guys up north, after our equipment sits over the winter, any maintenance tips? Yeah, get it out and start it. Make sure it all starts and nothing leaking when we go back to working. Talk about this $99 deal you have going on. You can go to pressurewashhelp.com/free. You get in free. That is there. PayPal fees are high. Yep, hadn't happened to me, and it's trash. Just no to PayPal. Yeah, it sucks when they're like, nope, we ain't giving you money. Should you give copies of insurance to your customers? I would only do it on commercial bids. I wouldn't do it on every residential job. If you do it on commercial bids, it does help, because that way they know you got insurance and all that kind of stuff. We'll start pressure washing this spring. New to business. Do I need to start Google Ad Map or Facebook now, or wait until the rig already have LLC working on? You need to do your Google My Business stuff. That is what you need to do now. And if you didn't get that information, go back about 30 or 40 minutes ago, and I go in depth of what you need to do. What are the basic pressure washing tips to start? Don't go into big debt. If you have money to buy equipment, or so let's just say if you have $10,000 or $15,000, don't go buy $10,000 or $15,000 worth of equipment and spend zero money in marketing, because that is the dumbest thing you can do. You will probably go out of business if you do that. You need to make sure that you have money for marketing. and set a amount aside. You know, if you want to do 100,000 this year, put $10,000 in marketing. Spend it on marketing. That's what you got to do. Marketing, you can buy you can buy a 30, 40, 50,000 rig. Yes, there's $50,000 rigs, but it ain't going to make you a dime if you don't spend any money in marketing. Marketing is the number one thing you need to spend money on. Using Square to take cards, pretty decent for me. Dang on, that wind's getting it out there. If you ain't got the money, honey, I ain't got the time. What are the basic pressure wash tips to use? Jason, I need to come across the river and take you to lunch so I can pick your brain. I'm expensive lunch, so you got to go high dollar. I might do a ride along with you one day. Let me know. I'll do a ride along and you can buy my lunch then. That way I can get some video. What do you think about contracting other local companies to discuss pricing to keep the area pricing high? I think it can be a good idea, but I also think that people are stupid and I mean, it's not a bad idea. It can be good, but it can be bad. You know, they can go low, but we don't care if they go low. That's not your customer. Yeah, she's been in there close to 2 months. She is very healthy and doing great. They just want her to eat more. We are so ready to sign her out. Well, your kids don't eat much in the first place, dude. Little Danny's little. I think radio ads would be good because no one else is advertising for what one thing. What are the base? I love Bobby Walker, aka, yep. So if you want to learn from Bobby in person, go to pressurewashhelp.com/dates. Any recommendation to compete with heavy hitter competition in your area? Yes. Get your Google reviews up, get all of that kind of stuff, figure out what they're not good at, and be good at it. Jason has built $1 million company and sold it. Yep, we're in the same area. I'm getting some of that in 2021. We are networking, not competing. 45% of millionaires in America make $80,000 a year. Stay focused, stay hungry. This is doable. I'm a bigger believer than ever in my life. Extreme, look me up. It says in good bank in the good book, he who gives shall receive. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. And that's exactly right. 100% exactly right. My ex was holding me down. I sent her away. And honestly, a spouse, you know, you do have to get your spouse on board. If your spouse is not on board, it can be tough. It's not going to be easy because they are supposed to be your number one cheerleader. And if they're the number one negative person in your ear, that can be an issue. It really can. And there's, you know, that's something you got to work on and make it happen. And in your opinion, which place to buy your domain? Namecheap.com. Namecheap.com. Come on to the Raleigh training. It's worth it. I promise you. My dad has said that me 6 million times about people he knows that just never put two and two together in life. Loved her. She had to go. Who's the man with the master plan? It's other half, not reflection. Can you talk about things to tax write-off? My suggestion is make sure you have a good CPA, a great CPA with a sharp pencil that's willing to stand behind that pencil. Some CPAs aren't willing to stand behind it, and so that's something that we want to do. Jeez, Pete. That's something that we want to make sure that we are standing behind that of the CPA. You know, obviously, you know, anything you do for the business, you can write it off. You know, some people write mileage, some people write everything they do, all of that kind of thing. So those are some things. You know, the one thing that you can do so much in an IRA, like like I know I just met with the financial advisor, and if as long as everything goes right, she's going to come on here, and that's another thing that you can look at to put money away, and not get taxed. So she'll be able to talk about that. I don't know all the ins and outs about it, but I know that you can put like $5,500 per individual in an IRA that doesn't get taxed. So that can be one thing. And then there's other things that you can do. It's called a SERP IRA or something. It's for the business, and that's another way we can do money, so that way we don't have to pay taxes on it. Smash the like button. This man's preaching. I told my wife, Dan, Pina says, there is no work-life balance. There are decisions we make and accepting the outcome of them. And that is absolutely true. Everything has a consequences, for the good or for the bad. And life's about making decisions. You can make good decisions and you can make bad decisions. You know, one of the good decisions I made when I was 21 is I bought a house. Now it's a rental house that is paid off, because it's 20 years ago. I paid $60,000 for it 20 years ago, and it's a paid off rental house. It brings me in $1,000 a month that pretty much pays my mortgage, you know. So that is a decision that I made when I was 21. That was a great decision. Now, I could have made a decision and bought a $30,000, $40,000 truck, but I didn't. I made a decision to buy a house and not buy the truck, and that helped me out in the long run. I'm 46 years old. I can't even count all the real friends on one hand. Wake up. And what's the definition of a real friend? I'm going to tell you something. When you're becoming an entrepreneur, you don't have a lot of friends. I can count mine on less than one hand too. I have one good real friend, which is DJ. And that's pretty much, I have acquaintance and I have people that I talk with, but somebody that I can call in the middle of the night, I have one or two of those. And so that is what it is. Packages is how you charge that high. Make the customer see the real value you bring. 100%. Packages, packages, packages. Come on now. The love, yes, sir. You are so right. You can take your business as far as you are willing to take it and make as much money as you are willing to work for, but you can never stop hustling. And I mean, that is true. But if you want to grow a business and even make more, that's where you start bringing other people in. So that way you can work on the business instead of in the business. And that is a transition that is not an easy transition to do, especially when you're in it all the time. And that's a transition too, is if you want to keep all the profits, or if you're willing to let some of that money go, so that way you can make more money and do things like that. This is one great thing I've learned in life. If you can do something about it, do it. If you cannot do anything about it, don't worry about it. I agree with that. A lot of people worry about the most stupidest stuff, and it does you no good, because there's stuff that you can't change. My other two friends are my wife and my son. Advice to start with $2,000. Try to do some marketing. Try to go buy a couple hundred signs. Go buy 100 signs. Go do your Google My Business. If you have to get started, go rent a pressure washer. You can rent one, and all you need is a pressure washer and a downstream injector. You can do houses. You can do everything except roofs at that point. And then the more money you make, you can put more money into it, and then you can just keep on growing it. Don't be sorry. I needed to hear it. I'm getting tired of customers being scared of the use the word bleach. Don't use the word bleach. I never use the word bleach. In fact, I would always tell my employees that was a 4-letter word. Until recently, when coronavirus hit, I never used the word bleach. You would never hear me say bleach come out of my mouth. It is sodium hypochlorite. It is pool chlorine. It is pool shot. I never, because bleach is it is just a trade name. It's not nothing that more than a trade name. So that is definitely something that, you know, I just wouldn't use it. I'm trying to get through some of these questions, and I see some good ones. There are YouTube videos that will help you do WordPress. I'm willing to bet you're not actually getting 4,400 at the end. My cousin does direct mail in Pennsylvania. It is so expensive depending on what you're creating. That conversation lasted 5 minutes. I never use the B word around customers. I use a vinyl siding proprietary cleaner. I mean, we can make up whatever the hell we want to make up at the end of the day. You know, I don't have to tell them I use bleach because bleach is a trade name. I use sodium hypochlorite. And if they don't like that, then that's what it is. I mean, that is one thing I always taught. Don't ever say bleach. Hey, Jason, hope you had a great Christmas. Can't wait for 2021. Get ready. I can't either, Logan. I'd like to come up and do a ride along with you, too. Kyle, do you use 12 volt to apply house wash or roof mix? Any power wash bros in here? A few. No one ever on residential ever asked me about insurance or anything. Marketing is everything. That is 100%. Marketing is everything. Start small and scale up. You get customers. Sorry, I was talking to a man about a horse. Dude, if you don't have marketing, do you have a business? No. Let's see. Trying to scroll through. You guys been going a lot. My wife is behind me 100% and even helps me do marketing too. That is awesome. That is awesome. I think that can be really helpful. I know Jason, I talk to him a lot. He's in my Voxer program still, and his wife is in also, and they are an awesome team to be able to do that. Please have a CPA on your CPA about IRAs and stuff. Much need to know information. Please have the CPA on here. Oh, it's not the actual CPA, it's an actual financial advisor that I am using that I will. I asked her if she would be on here. She had to go ask questions and make sure that she doesn't break any rules so that she can do that. Working on expanding, but workers' comp is expensive. Should I just take the big leap? It is very expensive, and it can be hard leap to do. It's something that you got to make sure your prices are up and all of that kind of stuff. A true friend is a friend that will do as much as you for them. Yep, it can be lonely at the top. Just do what you know is right. Friends come and go. As long as you have your health and family, you have all the friends you'll ever need. Jason, what's your subscriber goal for 2021? I haven't really set a goal for that. But going off of last year, I got 10,000 subscribers. I'm probably going to shoot for 15 this year, so I'll be at 35. I don't know if that'll be able to be done or not. I actually gained 11,000 subscribers this year, so I should be able to do that and more. My analytics is already way higher than they were last year, so it should just keep right on growing. My goal for next year, these are some goals that I've set for myself, is to make sure I keep 2 videos up a week, and I do 2 videos a week, and I do 2 lives a week is my goal. So my videos will come out on Tuesday and Friday, and my lives will be Thursday and Sunday, and that is my goal, so that way it can keep it going. If you know how to make explosive, then understand big words. Sodium hypochlorite is a little word. Newbie here. I see ads for Cleansol Clean that use hydrogen peroxide. They claim it is more effective and safer. Your thought? It's a bunch of crap. It is not. It's not going to clean faster or anything like that. It's just a different way of cleaning. It's important to understand what bases and acids do not mix. 100% true. What's the best marketing agency? I don't know about an agency. Who's going to be the best out there for that? There's a lot of snake oil out there. Now, what I mean by snake oil is they're going to guarantee you they will get you #1 on first page. Well, what word are you going to get me #1 on first page? Pressure wash help, Cincinnati, Ohio? Well, no crap. I can do that. So just be careful when they say, we'll guarantee you we'll get you on first page. Thank you for all the advice Jason gives. Anyone luck getting shotgun fungus off with liquid? Nope. What do you think about Forever Self-Employed? He's a young kid trying to make money. Or even bigger. Jason is the go to hit 40 to 50 2021. Jason is going to hit 40 to 50K 2021. I might. I'm going to start running better YouTube ads. I'm going to find somebody that can run YouTube ads that's better, and I'm willing to put some money into it that way. So it probably will help push that up. Is it true that you can't use SH on Sherwin-Williams paint? I haven't done my house wash yet because I'm starting to install that somewhere. That is not 100% true. It is one kind of the Sherwin-Williams paint. Which one it is, that's a good question. And that's why you got to do test spots. I see ads for Cleansol. They claim no. Do you use a soft wash for roof cleaning? Yes. I use Roof Mix 6%. Will you be having any classes during the winter? I'm really considering adding this service to the existing business. Right here is the only one I have right now, pressurewashhelp.com/dates. It is going to be in next week. I know that's quick. Otherwise, there will be one in March, probably the first week of March in Raleigh, North Carolina. Do you like Apple Wash? I do not, because I don't care about the color, and I just don't use it. You believe that people should do all their own marketing and SEO? I believe that you should be careful what you do with it, is what I'm telling you. There's a lot of snake oil out there. There's a lot of people that will preach that they can get you to #1 and all this other bull crap, is what I'm telling you. Make sure you understand it. Make sure you know what they're telling you. Make sure you don't just go off of what they say. There is some people that do good, some people that don't do good. So that is what I'm not going to bash anybody, but I'm just saying. Lots of snake oil. I had one of my clients use somebody that I knew, and when he told me who he used, I was like, you got screwed. And guess what? He got screwed. I saw 2 of your YouTube ads today. Yeah, they suck right now. I'm just trying to figure them out. What do you think about Billy Davis? I think he's a cool cat. And I think he is just out there to have fun and do it. How many feet is optimal to run with a 12-inch 5.5-inch hose? 200. Don't go no more than 200 feet. And I was not logged in on this account and that watches you regular videos. Just let you know. Okay. Have you heard anything about Google Guarantee moving forward with creating leads for roof washing? I have not. Jason, no. Going into 2021, just remember, acids and bases do not mix. Hold the line. Are accumulators worth it? I've used one. I can't say I never used one. I've used one out of all the trucks I had. Thanks for your time on doing these videos. There is a lot of Sherwin-Williams paint where I live. It's main paint stores here in this small town, so it makes me nervous. What is the best way of marketing? Isaiah, go back to the beginning of this video. I got about, it was about 5-10 minutes in, and I go in detail what you need to do. Your Google My Business, hammer it hard. You need to make sure that Google My Business is legitly done. That will start getting you more money than once you get going, because then once you get it going, you can start putting your reviews in there, and that is our goal. You can use Facebook, free talk on Facebook. You can do all that kind of stuff. You can do you can do you can do you know, Nextdoor. That's free. You can do LinkedIn. You can do all kinds of stuff. That's what you need to do to start getting that to going and getting it up and moving. What do you think about Footbridge Media? They are a group that Aaron pushes for SEO and that stuff. Well, he makes money off of it, so I don't know. I've seen some websites that he had built that went under him, and it's all about if you're not putting content up there, if you're not giving them content to put up there, you're just pissing it away at that point. You got to be putting content on there over and over and over and over. And if you're not doing it, they're not doing it. And if you're not doing it and they're not doing it, you're paying $175 for nothing. Just my opinion. And at that point, Jason, I really appreciate all the content you put out. I own a lawn care business in South Carolina. I'm looking into pressure washing as my next offer service. Do you offer coaching calls? I do. I can get a, let's see here, Kajabi. Let me look it up here and I'll get you a link because I don't know what it is. Offers. Zoom. It's a 1 hour Zoom call and I'll talk about anything you want to talk about. I'll give you all the information you want and all the information you need. I'm going to put it here. I should probably make it there. I put it there. So there. If TestBot shows a fade in the paint, do you just not do the house? It's not usually going to show a fade in the paint. And the biggest thing with that paint is you want to make sure that it is not oxidized already. A lot of those paint jobs will be oxidized already. So if it's already oxidized, that's an issue. So that said, you know, the biggest thing we want to make sure is if we take pictures of it, we let the customer know that this paint is already oxidized, because once we clean it, it ain't going to get no better. The next thing, if the paint is bad, it's going to turn it pink or like, and it usually happens on like yellow houses, blue houses, and that color of a house. And not the real dark blue, like the baby blue houses. Why it does it on those colors, I don't freaking know. But those are the ones that you're going to do. You way more. Yard signs is a great way to get business for you, for Isaiah. If you can buy 100 yard signs, even if you can buy 50 yard signs, go to pressurewashhelp.com/signs. Buy as many signs as you can and put them babies out. If you can buy 100, that's $300. I know that's a lot, but if you can put that out, 25 a week, your phone will ring. Jason, you mentioned no more washathon. Did you guys have a falling out on washathon? Maybe. Keep marketing. Heads up, the new 800 is bad to the bone. Purchased a week ago. Best purchase this year. I've seen them. That's a lot of horsepower for a little motor. That thing's got to be bad. All right, Jason, I'm signing off. Hope you have a good night. Thanks for the live stream. I would love to do a ride along with you anytime. Do you have any experience with advertising with business signs at intersections in your area? Yeah, it's called yard signs. pressurewashhelp.com/get signs. A lot. Are there blueprints for building different types of setups for the trailer? Yes, there is. pressurewashhelp.com/free. I have them in there. You get 30 days free. I talk about it in there. Also, I go over it in my in-person classes at pressurewashhelp.com/dates. All these SEO companies want to make money. They want to make your money. Me personally, in my slow time, I'm spending my time on college courses to learn it to do myself. What do you do in the wintertime? Christmas lights. Christmas lights is a great moneymaker. I've seen a few ads on YouTube from guys advertising fence brightener. Yeah, that's pretty much what they're advertising. It's called, they're wanting to sell a $149 course. I know, I'm hitting 80 minutes. I got to get the heck off here. I can't even hardly talk. So, I will be in Florida. I'm headed to Florida in a couple days. I am going to be down there in Orlando for this training right here, pressurewashhelp.com/there. I will be teaching. I know we got 7 or 8 guys as of right now, so I will be there for those guys. It's going to be a smaller class, which ain't a bad thing. It's going to be a long class because Bobby is going to be giving his 2-hour spiel, and so we will probably go to about 5 or 6 that day. It's going to start at 8:30, and we'll probably go to 5 or 6 because Bobby is giving his spiel, plus I'm giving all of my spiel. I'm not going to cut mine down. Mine and Bobby's kind of overlaps a little bit, but I'm going to give both of them so that way you get as much information as you can. And Bobby's will go for about 2 hours. Mine goes for about 3.5 hours of the PowerPoint side. His is going to go for 2 hours, so that's going to be 5 hours of sitting in a chair. And then we go outside, I show you, and then you get to do it. And so that is something that will happen, and it is a great class. It is a class that if you don't know how to pressure wash when we're done, and you don't know how to do marketing, it's because you didn't listen. It's because now I'm not going to say it's because you didn't listen, because you will have an overload of information. It literally is an overload of information. So that said, it is a good class, but it's a lot of information. So with that, I'm going to jump off here. Hope you all have a great week this week. Be safe next week. I will be back on Thursday night. Next Sunday is supposed to be my Zoom call for my members, and that is probably not going to happen because I'm going to be teaching a class that day, and I will be there until probably 6 or 7, and then we go eat dinner after the fact. So then that way, if you have any more questions while we're eating dinner, you can answer those dinners, or you can answer those questions then. So that there is a good time of, you have to buy your own dinner. I buy breakfast and lunch. You have to buy your own dinner if you want to go out to dinner with us. And that way you can ask questions. And I find that that's really good to help with any questions that you might not gotten answered, or you're confused about something. So with that said, hope you all have a good night. Hope you all have a great week, and I'll see you on Thursday night from a hotel that I don't know where we'll be at. Actually, I do. It'll be in Sarasota area because that's where I will be at. Hope you all have a great week. Have a great year if I don't see you. I'll see you next year if I don't see you on Thursday.